This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, June the 12th. I'm Rennie Knott.
And I'm Michelle Lee. Great to see you this Wednesday. It is a little bit hot. It is going to be humid. What else did we say it's going to be? I don't know.
How about miserable?
Miserable.
A good way to put it.
Listen, we're not even in summer yet, but it feels like it, Anthony.
Officially, next Thursday is when summer does officially begin, although it has been in the 90s a couple times so far. In fact, 4 already 90-degree days we've had this spring. And here's a live look over O'Fallon, Missouri, or Illinois this morning. The sun coming up, and we have ample sunshine for the day ahead. It's a mostly sunny day today. Temperatures by 7 o'clock near 70, by lunchtime 85, and highs today near 91 degrees. We, of course, want to check the rest of the area, and you can see a lot of places like Flora, Mount Vernon, Warrenton, Chesterfield, all falling back into the 50s. And there are your highs all across the area today. We're talking mid to upper 80s and 91 here in St. Louis for the high temperature on your Wednesday. In fact, this is perfect pool weather. We go into Thursday and Friday. Temperatures will be just as hot, if not hotter tomorrow. The heat index will be pushing near 98 degrees for Thursday afternoon. So may have you thinking about the pool, and well, we'll have pool weather. Stick around through the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full forecast. Let's say good morning to Paul Cook, track some traffic. We've had really light traffic since summer began, Paul, but you always are talking construction.
Yeah, the construction get up there and cause a delay. We should probably be checking parking lots around pools as far as traffic goes.
Yes.
There's a lot of that going on. And then you've mentioned it, the glare can be a delay causing thing right now, but none of those are heavy volume delays. Now it can pop up. We had something at 270 and Olive later in the morning yesterday, and that's right where we are right now, where you also have debris, 6440 at Mason. Construction north and south on 270 just past 6440, and then the construction that begins a little bit today here. This is 44 approaching 270. Not all lanes blocked, but definitely going to be dealing with some of that. And then I did want to show you the downtown bridges are moving very, very well. So we'll keep a very close eye on that. Another look at construction. We got you covered, but conditions are great out there right now. Another take coming up, guys.
Right now, we want to bring you an update to the Wentzville homicide that we've been telling you about throughout today in St. Louis. After about an hour and a half ago, police arrested the suspect. The deadly shooting happened around 10:30 last night on Hidden Valley Drive near Highway A and 61. Details are limited at this time, but police say the suspect is in custody. Right now, our photojournalist is on his way to Wentzville. He's expected to talk with the sergeant, and we will bring you an update just as soon as he arrives.
And then also new overnight at 6:04 this morning, police in North County are investigating a body found in a driveway. It happened just before 10:30 last night near Highland Elementary School, not far from Glasgow Village. We have reached out to several police departments to learn how this person died, and we're going to give you an update when we learn more.
Happening today, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will give us an update on their findings and progress for removing radioactive contamination from Coldwater Creek.
Yeah, we know that they are holding an open house meeting tonight, and Diamond Palmer is live and fluorescent with how one advocacy group is responding to all of this. Diamond?
Yeah, Michelle and Rennie, Just Moms STL, that advocacy group you mentioned, is actually headed to Washington, D.C. this morning to continue their efforts for victims of radioactive waste. They say they've been doing so since 2014, pushing federal officials to give answers. And that's why the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says that's why they're hosting an open house here at the Florissant Municipal Courts building. So just to give viewers some background about this, the contamination actually happened after radioactive waste from World War II bomb-making materials were burned in the Westlake landfill, the Bridgeton landfill, and near Coldwater Creek, not too far from Jana Elementary School. Now, during the remediation, crews worked 10-hour shifts and dug down 14 feet inside of the creek. They finished their remediation efforts in Coldwater Creek late last week, just as the deadline to the Radiation Exposure Contamination Act, or RECA, was about to expire. The program ran for more than 30 years, with Just Moms STL pushing for lawmakers to extend it. Vocal lawmakers supporting the expansion of RECA include Senator Josh Hawley, Congresswoman Cori Bush, and Representative Tricia Burns. So Representative Tricia Burns will also be having a news conference of her own with Jay Ashcroft, which will happen tonight at 5:30, also here at the courts building. Both have been vocal about having a path forward for victim compensation. Tonight's open house will happen from 6 until 8 at the Florissant Municipal Courts building. But there will also be a presentation, of course, a question and answer session. But Just Moms STL says they've been warning federal officials about this exposure for years.
They really had no idea that we were still being exposed here, that we had found radioactivity in our parks and in our homes and in our backyards and schools.
No, we're not giving up. And you know what? We've had to tap into retirement accounts. Bet we'll do it again.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers say in total they dug up about 8 Olympic-sized pools worth of soil. They say of that, only 2 Olympic-sized pools were actually contaminated soil. But coming up in the next half hour, we'll break down the timeline of when the Army Corps of Engineers expects to also remediate additional areas along the creek. Reporting here in Florissant, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Diamond. Right now, you'll want to avoid the Town and Country Post Office. It closed on Monday and remains closed because of suspected environmental concerns. Overnight, we reached out to the post office and to officials, but they would not elaborate about what that means, but do tell us there's no danger to the public. Right now, we are working to learn when it will reopen and what will happen to all the mail that is inside the building.
This morning, a warning from St. Louis police. A man is apparently walking the streets of South St. Louis and exposing himself while wearing a dress. The incidents happened around Chippewa and South Grand, and one caller told police on Monday the man flashed himself in front of his wife and his baby.
You know, people just being, really startled about that, but nothing surprises me anymore.
Red hair and a yellow dress on a man.
Right now, that is the only description of the man you just heard. Red hair and a yellow dress. This morning, St. Louis police are asking anyone who sees the flasher in that yellow dress to give them a call.
Right now, our photojournalist has arrived to that scene in Wentzville, where we've been talking about the homicide that we've been telling you about throughout today in St. Louis. About a half hour ago, police arrested the suspect.
And this morning, Sergeant Jacob Schmidt with the Wentzville Police Department joins us live. And first off, thank you for being with us. Is there any danger to the public this morning?
No, not at this time. The suspect was taken into custody without incident.
Sergeant, can you tell us the circumstances surrounding this shooting?
Yeah, last night at about 10:30 p.m. we received a call from a female here on scene that one male shot another male.
Where were you able to find the suspect?
He was in the area, actually. There was a couple things going on last night. During that investigation, holding the scene, we had a pretty large perimeter for the safety of the community because we weren't sure if the suspect was in the area or not. And thankfully, due to some help from the community and technology, a subject was seen on a Ring video camera, and a resident called it in, and investigators went over there and followed up on that lead immediately, and it turned out to be the suspect was in the area.
Oh, wow. And then what do you need in terms of the investigation? I see that obviously there's crime tape still there, so do you need help from the public, and where does the investigation go from here this morning?
Right. It started off last night as some sort of domestic incident. The victim was pronounced deceased on the scene, and then the suspect fled on foot. And we weren't sure if he was in the area or not, so we had a perimeter established to search for him. So we were asking the public for help at that time. Thankfully now he was taken into custody without incident, so that's good news. Now the investigators are just putting the rest of the pieces of the puzzle together.
All right, thank you so much for your time this morning, Sergeant. We certainly appreciate the work that you do. All right, coming up, CPR can be complicated, but this morning we are walking you through the life-saving process and the free training available.
And while it's not overly hot just yet, our temperatures this afternoon climb up to 90, and the humidity, that's already starting to climb as well. Things ramp up from here. We'll talk about your weather first forecast after the break.
We're thinking about how do we make sure this business is around in another 100 years.
Keeping the dream alive, the new owners of Dad's Cookie, and the promise he's making to you this morning.